Um, so we're chatting right now. Are you drinking ketones yet or not? It's interesting. So after teaching health and wellness for so long and finding kind of a secret, well, not kind of a secret weapon to help people live a better life, it's always weird to me, like where people are at. Like, why would they try it? Why would they not try it? I'm always curious of why people haven't started yet, especially when you see the stories that have come in. What's up, Mr. Derek Smallman? And so I'm always curious of why people would not. We're doing a new series. Coach Rob DeBoer and I are like kind of debunking the myth because we're big into the fitness industry, and they just, some people, it takes a while for people to become open-minded to new concepts, I guess, even though it's not that new. So with that said, hey, Jen, remind me tomorrow I'll be doing a special live on a coaching live tomorrow. So I got to put that out. But can you text me on that, please? So really quick, if you're watching this and you've used ketones before, what are some benefits you've gotten? So basically, I'm going to explain this in the simplest manner, is that there is an end result of optimizing health. Let me rephrase that. If I can teach you how you're going to feel, if I can give you the end result, how do I teach you the beginning? What's up, brother? If I can give you the end result, it's easier for me to teach you the beginning. So what happens when most people go on a fat loss or a health journey? What's up, Lori Danner? When they go on a journey, their anticipation of feeling better is part of the reason why they feel better, right? Although if they don't get results fast enough, that anticipation goes away and then they don't feel so good. Their real feeling starts to come out. And when you drink ketones, and why I recommend ketones, I used to teach ketogenic diet, low carb dieting, a lot of different diet strategies, fitness strategies, is that most people can't make it far enough into the program to feel really good. And then the ones that do make it into the program don't maintain it. They end up falling away and messing up. And then they go back to their old lifestyle. That's why when you hear these people say, well, if I stop, what happens? Well, if you go back to your old lifestyle, you're going to go back to the way you were. That's how your old lifestyle wasn't very good. So why drink ketones are so important? Because it gives you the end result of feeling better, meaning that you have heightened energy, heightened mental clarity, focus. Literally, it was invented for the elite of the world, Navy SEALs, NASA astronauts. This is where it all started from, right? So if you feel great, well, what'll happen is you're more likely to participate in all the other things that you should be doing, right? There isn't anything out there yet, doesn't exist. I doubt it ever will exist. I hope it does, but I doubt it will, where you can legitimately just eat and do whatever you want, take a pill, and magically be the healthiest person in the world. It doesn't exist yet. Or ever. This is the closest thing you're ever found. What it's going to do, though, is if you use ketones, if you drink ketones, you're going to eat cleaner. You're going to eat better. You're going to move more. You're going to, unless you're my cousin, you're going to sleep better. Although she's been sleeping better. Currently drinking every. I didn't know that you rolled your car, Lori. So people that aren't drinking ketones yet, I'm always curious, why are you not drinking ketones? Like, why would you not get started? Now, part of it might just be that you don't even know about them. You're just hearing for the first time. Some of you might think it's expensive. Some of you might think you don't like the taste. Some of you might, what are some other reasons? I don't know what else. I don't know what else there could be. So ignorant, don't know. Ignorant is not a bad word. It's just, I don't know. The other person is cost. The other person is flavor and taste. Maybe I don't know what to do if I was to do them. Really quick, can somebody on Facebook send me a comment? Destinations. Oh, there it is. Why not, Rebecca? Oh, there we go. I got a comment on Facebook. I had to make sure my StreamYard was working. So and lead a educational event. Literally, one of the leading metabolic specialists of non-toxic therapies and treatments, a researcher out of University of South Florida, spoke Monday. The leading naturopathic doctor spoke on Monday. We had the former chairman of NASA speak on Monday. We had one of the leading performance coaches in the entire planet speak on last night. One of the top formulators, leading researchers on human optimization and ketone research and metabolics and anti-aging, literally Coach Tony Robbins spoke last night. And I'm like, if it's good enough for NASA scientists, I think it's good enough for you, right? Like, wait a second here. So if you don't know what it is, take time to learn. Reach out to us. Um, Reach out to us. Yeah, hey man, Jesse, yeah, too much caffeine. No way, there's too much caffeine. Actually, I can talk about that too. Caffeine free or caffeine, half and half. The research on caffeine in the brain is pretty significant. So I like my caffeine, although I can sometimes overdo it. But the if you don't know what it is, take time and learn. You deserve that. You owe it to yourself to learn what it is. Really quick, if you're using ketones right now, put down one or two of your big benefits. But here's the thing, and that's okay not to know. It's okay to take time to learn, and it can be hard nowadays. It's funny how nowadays it's harder to learn something because you don't know who to trust, right? I always tell people, Google me. I Google well. Who do you trust, right? Because if you're a really good marketer, I'm not a brilliant marketer. I'm working on it. I'm working on being a better marketer, but I'm not a good marketer, meaning that I don't use good like hooks to get people to come and watch me and then sell them on something. I struggle with that, right? That's not my nature. I'm a natural coach, but I have a huge background. If you look at, the individuals I've trained with or worked with, it's like, wow, like a pretty reputable guy from a knowledge base. But you wouldn't know that. How do you know that, right? The person, you might go to a page and it looks perfect because the guy or gal's really good at making it look like it's professional and clean, and like, I must trust that page because your brain's telling you to trust it, but it might not be the right information. So I always tell people, like, go do your work. If you do a homework and you research this enough, you will never stop drinking ketones ever. So that's one, and that just takes time. Education it's hard out there because it's so much noise. 7 years ago, we were the only company in the world. It was a little easier. Now that people are like spinning keto, the word keto didn't exist until we launched it, right? It maybe did, but nobody talked about it. The second thing is cost. Let's bring up cost. Some people say it's expensive, right? And so when it comes to cost, it's tough too, because when you know what it is, you know what it is. When you understand the significance of what this does for you, it's not too expensive. I legitimately went out the other night. My wife and I went out, and it was $13 for an alcoholic beverage. Right now, I enjoy a couple drinks. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not against it, but literally, I don't even balk an eye at spending that on a date with my wife. Right? Just our meal, not one of our meals. Probably combined. It's a little bit more than our meals combined. Is enough product for me for an entire month. Now, I know not everybody goes on date nights like myself, but the reality is it's not that much. For less than $10 a day, you can completely transform your life. That's one crappy meal out a day, change your life forever. It's just perspective, right? It's a perspective that you're looking at it. And what it tells me when people think it's expensive, there's a few things. And don't take offense to this, or do. Your priorities in the wrong spot. Well, the first thing is you don't know what it is, right? You don't know the significance, right? Because my sister that says it's expensive smokes a cigarette, right? Or or whatever, gets weed or whatever it might be. Like the priorities in a different spot. What they think is important is different than maybe what is important, right? And that's all of us do that, by the way. It could be designer purses, it could be food, it could be snacks, it could be Amazon. There's an addiction to something out there that you can alleviate, right? So it's a choice at this point that you could choose another path, right? But if you don't have enough knowledge or awareness of it, you might not choose that path. That's understandable. I get it. So that's why education is so important. That's why we lead the events we lead. But when it comes down to, think about our diet or food, people say it's expensive to be healthy. Well, no, it's expensive to be sick. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been sick. It's very expensive to be sick. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's multiple on when I was sick. It's expensive to be sick. It's expensive to have surgery. And even if you have the greatest insurance in the world, which I actually do, the cost of time, energy, efforts, the not working, it adds up. It just adds up. If you have the best insurance in the world, being sick adds up. And that's the fact of not feeling good. I mean, I'm just talking about the financial side of being sick is not good, right? That's expensive. So once again, it comes down to education, or who do you trust and who do you follow? And then the last one I would say, and cost is crazy. I mean, there's programs out there right now. I mean, I have to get on calls with people that have their stomach stapled, that they do these synthetic foods and injections on a regular basis to try to lose weight or get healthy. And I'm like, and they all gain it back times 10 because it's just crap. It's legitimately not good for them. I'm like, you're willing to spend the money on that? and not take something that's going to actually change your life forever? That makes no sense. Tartar chips and pop cost a mint right now. I don't know what tartar chips are. Maybe that's tater chips. Tater chips. Downtime. I was a trainer for many years. I charged anywhere from $125 to $175 an hour. I charge for my coaching. You get I give it free if you're drinking our product and you're working with our community. You might not always get it one-on-one, but it's perception, right? People would pay that. I had a wait list for 6 months. People would pay that to come see me, and then people balk at spending $6 a day. Right? The people would see me 2-3 times a week, y'all, at that rate. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to give it a perspective, but they value their health so much and their life so much, they're willing to invest in themselves. Right? So that's the craziest thing. So why are you not drinking ketones yet? Is it because you're not educated on them yet? Is because you think they're expensive? Well, we just debunked all that. The education on ketones is the biggest breakthrough that we may see in our lifetime, but it's for surely the biggest breakthrough in nutrition, health, wellness, supplementation, bar none. It is huge breakthrough, right? Globally, it's getting back to the foundation of health. I mean, it's big. This is a big deal, right? Cost, we addressed that. Now taste. Let's get to taste. I don't know where to begin. We started with the company. We had one flavor. It was Orange Dream. One flavor. Was anybody around for that flavor? You can still get it. You can get it in our Keto Pro. And I don't like orange. I mean, if it's not orange juice in a mojito, that's the only time I have really orange juice. I put orange juice in a mojito and an orange juice in a margarita. Otherwise, I don't really like orange. What are your thoughts on vitamins? I have a lot of thoughts on vitamins. I'll answer that in a second. And I had drank it for 18 months. Why? Because it's the biggest breakthrough in supplemental history. I mean, if I told you to lick the sidewalk and you'll live longer, think better, be happier, be a better dad, better mom, would you do it? Yes. If you really want to feel better. So when it comes to taste, the first thing I'm going to tell you is stop it. Stop. Listen, I get it. We live in a world now where taste is sometimes questionable, meaning that we get to try so many different things and we can be so picky, but we need to stop being so damn picky and start being grateful that we can get the chance to have it. I did the ketogenic diet for 15 freaking years without ketones. I don't care what it tastes like. Rocket fuel, I'll drink it. I actually got to try some of the original keto trials, like stuff that was a long time ago. I'm talking 10, 15 years ago. And it tastes literally like jet fuel. It's disgusting. I would have drank that if I had to. If you know, right? But here's the coolest thing. We have the best flavors in the world. If you don't like the taste, there's just something wrong with you. I'm just going to tell you right now. My wife and I drink different flavors, by the way. I'm drinking Ruby Rush. I love it. My favorite. One of my favorites. I got a couple favorites. So if you don't mind, in the bottom and down below, tell me what your favorite flavor is. Let me know. I want to hear it right now. So if you're not drinking ketones yet, you just should be. There isn't a way around it. You don't do this on your own. Coach Rob DeWar and I are going to talk about that. I've been using salt only for 1 week. And now I have such a food snob. I've been using salt only for a week. I don't understand. Food snob. So if you're not drinking ketones, you just should be. I don't know how else to say that. Stop. Get out of your own way. Just shut up and drink them. And I'm going to be very firm here. I love people try trials. You can buy a trial from me, buy a trial from whoever invites you to come and join us. Buy a trial. That's fine. Try ketones for a month. That's fine. The hardest thing I think for us to overcome is if you don't get adapted, it takes up to 60 days. Unfortunately, a lot of you are sick. You're not well. A lot of you need a lot of help. Take 60 days for your system to get fully saturated and for it to make the metabolic shifts that are probably going to make the biggest difference. So give it a full spectrum, because everybody, if you quit, you're coming back next year, the year after. So don't quit. I just tell you, don't quit. Everybody, I get a lot of people that call me back. Hey, I felt the way again. And I felt best whenever I drank ketones. I'm like, good, just don't stop. Because the alternative is you feel like because you're not going to do everything you need to do. Okay. So I have about 5 minutes left. I will answer a couple questions. What do I think about? Well, before I do that, let's say this. If you're following me and you want to try this stuff, if you haven't tried it, try it. I'm just going to tell you flat out, let's get started. Hit me up and let's get you started. If you're following somebody that has you follow me, if somebody tagged you or had you follow me, get back to them and say, listen, I'm going to really commit to 60 days. Come grab our good, better, or best bundle, and let's go change your freaking life once and for all. Just commit. Everybody's life circumstances be different. When I was sick as a dog in my 20s, it was 5 years for me to put myself back together. 5 years. Now, you're going to learn from a lot of us, and wisdom, it shouldn't take that long, but 5 years. I had no other choice, y'all. I wanted to walk. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to play with my kids. I wanted to be a normal human. 5 years of my life to enjoy my life forever. Like, it's worth it. I promise you, it always is worth it. But I got asked this question. What do I think about vitamins? That's a great question. Depends which Dustin you asked on which day. So scientifically, if I have principles of anti-history or primitive aging or primitive health, and primitive health would tell me that, let me back up for a second. I think there's 3 main things that are important for life. From a nutraceutical perspective, let's say, because the sun, obviously you need the sun. The sun is extremely important. You need oxygen and those things. So I would say they kind of rank, and I don't have a priority of these ranking, but these are the 3 most important. Ketones. Glucose is important too, but you don't have to actually consume those. Ketones are important. I believe that amino acids are important, so protein, and I believe that minerals are important. As for all the other vitamins, there's an essential fatty acids. Those are important, but because if you eat animal protein or enough protein in the right sources, you kind of cover that. For the most part, you can overwhelm one side or the other, but for the most part, you cover that. So, but those things are the most important. So that's kind of the foundation of it. So if you're not fulfilling that, if you're not fulfilling the needs of that, supplementing is going to be important. Okay, so supplementing ketones, because most people can't produce enough ketones on their own through diet and lifestyle alone. So supplementing ketones, supplementing amino acids if you don't eat enough protein or digest very well, and supplementing minerals if you're not getting the proper water sources or minerals from all your food and everything else. When it comes to vitamins, there's essentials of vitamins. Most of the vitamins you're going to get are from all these other things, but do I take a multivitamin? I do. I don't take a heavy one. I don't take a crazy one. Because I think over time and history, we're no longer primitive animals. So I use multivitamins as kind of an insurance policy to cover some of the bases of what we might be missing. But it doesn't mean you have to. There's plenty of cultures that basically survive on almost little to none vitamin C, but they've been doing it for a long time. They live in the same area. They never evolved much past where they are for 7, 8, 9, 10,000 years. So it's hard to put them in the same category as a busy mom in Chicago. Like, it's just not the same. So I think that universally a vitamin isn't a bad idea. I don't think people have to overdo them necessarily, but I think it kind of comes down to vitamins is a supplement to what you're missing in your diet universally. So it's not a one size fits all. One more vitamin I think can be very important for people is vitamin D, because once again, we don't live outside. So I like vitamin D. I do take a bolus dose of that twice a week in the winter, and in the summer I take more of a maintenance dose. But anyway, so that's what I think about vitamins, but it is not a short answer. And I think there's situations, but I think what's more important than vitamins is mindset. Who you follow, who you hang out with, mindset, I think are more important. And you can add in some physical activity, I think is more significant with nutrition. But that's kind of my viewpoints on supplementation and vitamins in general. And I know it's not a simple answer, but I hope that helps. But I would tell you the first thing I put in my life, in my mouth every single morning is my ketones. Why? Because I want to elevate my energy, my focus, my brain, my mood. I want to feel the best I can feel. And if you understand science, you understand energy, you will eventually get there. If you don't, you're kind of thinking, is this real? I'm not kind of skeptic, or you know what? You're going to balk at maybe pricing of anything, right? It's like I drive a Tesla. And people go, you want to spend that much money on Tesla? Well, if I financially have the money, then yes, I am. But if you're driving, I drive the big SUV. Well, it's not huge, but it's big. It sits 6. But people are spending $30,000, $40,000 on a car, and they can buy a Tesla 3. Once you drive the Tesla and once you experience for a couple months, you're not going to drive it. You're going to drive it. It's just better than the other cars. Kind of depends what you're looking for. But once you know, I guess that's my point. So, and I'm not even a car guy, to be honest. I'm not a super big car guy. And I'm like, I love my car. I like both our cars. We have 2 awesome cars. But my whole point to that is ketones are the same way. Once you fly in an airplane and you get comfortable at flying, you don't want to drive very much. Like, I don't mind taking a road trip, but it's not super efficient. It means you're slow and you're always behind and you're the last one to get there. If you want to be ahead of life, be kicking ass and feeling great, well, then fly, right? I hope that analogy goes over well. Maybe a cell phone's a better analogy. I know Chad's on here and he's a trucker. He likes to drive. I'm like, that's great. But Chad is not going to get to as many states as I am flying, if that makes any sense. So appreciate you all. Thanks for plugging in. And I need to go pick up my daughter. We're at dance. Are we dancing right now? Ballet. And it's a small room. And so I come back to my car because it's like 40 parents in a room this big. And it just kind of smells actually. And it's been raining a lot. So I got to go get my daughter from dance in the room behind me. And my other daughter, want to say hi, Sophia? She does not want to say hi, is playing a game in the Tesla right now. And the Tesla has games. Why? I mean, that's so cool. She's playing chess. My daughter is playing chess on my car, against my car as I speak. I can get to them, just take a little longer. Yes, Chad, you can make it driving, but people can do the ketogenic diet to change their life. It's just going to take 5 or 10 years to get there, or they can fly. So with that said and done, have an awesome, awesome night. If somebody can text Kate Higdon for me, tell her Dustin will be coming in just a minute. Cheers, y'all.